control the body, the thought, emotion, and sensation. You line up with God, you line up with Him.
I believe everything you said about energy. Energy is us. The human being, the human body, the spirit that's in the world. We can't see it. Energy is in this room. This conversation is energy. You create energy. This is matter. This chair is matter. And you can throw it and create some energy with that motherfucker physically. But energy is what you're talking about. You everything you said is 100% correct. But that part of it, that's not energy. Anything you see physically is matter. Anything hard, that's matter. It can be turned into energy with velocity. With velocity, if you throw it or you push it, or you put something in it, that's energy. But I know what you're saying though. You know, it make perfect sense. But when you're saying certain things, make it all fit in. Because a person like me listening, I listen to everything you say. So make sure on all levels it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So, because you could be talking to an educated person. Sometimes people talk and they talk with passion and they speak with that same energy. Or like you ever ask somebody something, like ask a person for directions. Like one day, I'm gonna give you an example. One day I was lost when I was riding the train, when I first came home from prison. I asked my dad for directions. So instead of, he asked me on the phone, he said, why you asking me? Why you ain't asking somebody on the street? I said, because people out here, they just, in general, they speak emphatically about things they don't know nothing about. But they'll speak to you matter-of-factly as if they know what they're talking about, but have no clue, and ain't done their research, ain't done their homework, but to speak to you passionately about something, they don't have no clue what they saying. Oh yeah, go down to the whatchamacallit, turn left, go right down there and send you off. So I said, I knew you weren't gonna give me that instruction, give me some things. He not gonna tell me somewhere that he don't know where he's going. You got people in life like that. They'll give you a blueprint or some information, and it be, you've been in prison, you just said you came home from prison, so you imagine the conversations that we had in there, what guys don't be knowing what the fuck they talking about, but they're in there speaking on it as if it's true. You know what I'm saying? So just be, when you say that, when you say anything, make sure, all of y'all, everybody, whenever you speak it, that's why I can speak passionately and broken. He speak passionately about everything because he know what you're talking about. So oftentimes you could be speaking about something, and if you ain't done your research, you ain't done your homework, don't speak on it emphatically. Or make it a caveat or a caution. This is my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Lay it out there like that. Don't speak on something you ain't sure about, or it's just your opinion, and you're gonna speak on it as if it's true, and it's not. That being said, bro, go ahead and go ahead.
Well, you know, like I said, this manhood circle, this is what and I hope that in having these, I'm thinking every Friday, to build up conversations and discussions like this, because all of us have different opinions and ideas about God, self, and others, right? And then we got the different elders. Then we got the young brothers we hope to have in the circles that we bring from the streets and the different sets to be a part of this. I'm gonna be inviting them to be a part of it. You know, in the midst of COVID and all this stuff, it's like we so heavily focus on the COVID when violence have been our #1 COVID. We too busy concerned about some social distancing, when in fact, we should be grabbing these shorties and bringing them closer, even if it means risking our own life, even if it means putting ourselves at risk. So as an elder, our job, as old heads, our job is to teach and train our youth, our young men, and our women, because women need men as well. So we may not be able to do all the things to teach her how to be a woman, but I don't know too many women that don't love their fathers. You know what I'm saying? And fathers having advice. So in this circle right here, and we hope you guys, so y'all go around. What's the age? What's your age?
23, 28.
23, 28, 29, 30. See, Jay, you what? 42. So us, you 38. So, and you the oldest, Chip. 75. You got different levels of wisdom, different insights, cause I always like to hang with the little homies, cause they give me guidance on how these things are happening and moving. If you don't listen to the little homies, then you out of tune. Because this is their time.
Because you wouldn't know that we supposed to be scared right now. I'm talking about, our youngsters out there now is off the chain. It's worse now than ever before.
Yeah, in terms of guidance.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
The substance, you know, what we know is so much knowledge, you know, knowledge gained through observation and experience.
Okay.
We don't have to know long line and stuff. Observation and experience is the education. Now, if they can't decipher or break it down, you gotta help them with that. And at the same time, like you said, it's helping you. But you getting aware of these youngsters, you knowing the frailties, you know the shortcomings, you know what I mean?
See, I left prison. When I left prison, it was the little homies who was coming in. And I always say, man, how you know what's going on out in the street? They coming in from society. Listen, society produced prison. Prisons didn't produce society. Meaning people in prison came from society. We weren't born in prison. We came in prison because society is effed up. Society messed up, and we the product of a messed up society born to prison.
But I want to say one more thing before we go on. What you just said, old school, you said that it's worse now than it is as ever been. But each generation gonna say that. And each generation has said that. So what if we get to a point where we stop it? Like at some point, the next generation, 10, 50 years from now, 11 more people gonna be in this circle saying, man, it's worse now than it was ever. And each generation has said that about the last generation before them. So we have a responsibility to the generation behind you and to people in general to stop some of this stuff that's going on with these kids because they ain't got no guidance. I was telling guys that the other day. We are the truth. So we got to be the ones that say, be the message you bring. You said everybody saying these shorties, but ain't nobody grabbing them. Ain't nobody helping them. Ain't nobody
It just ain't enough.
It ain't enough, but I said it's no true. Indeed, prevention is better than cure. So I said, can anybody name me one community center as big as one of these prisons we got in Illinois?
No.
Can you give me one on the east side, west side, south side, north side of Chicago, anywhere that's as big as an operating budget that a prison got? Can you tell me one? So if we not preventing these kids from making mistakes and doing stuff that they doing out here on the streets, what are we doing? But we got a cure for them though. We got prison for them though. And I said this to bro the other day. I said, does anybody remember algebra growing up in high school?
No.
What did they always ask you? The teacher never gave a fuck about how you got your answer. They wanted to know how you worked the problem out. Show your work. That was their thing about algebra. Show your work because I want to know if you understand the answer. You know what I'm saying? The problem itself. So what these people doing, they not understanding the problem. They just dealing with the answer. See, a lot of us, when we was in school, when we just want to write the answer to an algebra, he say, I need to show me your work. See, they don't, these politicians, everybody out here, they don't care about the problem. All they care about is the answer. And the answer is 27 to 30. How many of you guys, either 27 to 30? Operating budgets with multi-million dollar operating budgets. But why we ain't got community centers? Why we ain't got no place for these kids to go out to school? Now we don't even got them in school, like bro said, they ain't got no social distance now. I mean, they got school because of social distance. So what's up? So it's on us. So we can't keep saying that. That's my thing.
Oh, yes, I
can't keep. No, I said we. I ain't said you. I said we. But you are part of we too.
Yeah.
We can't keep saying that.
Just the point I wanted to make when I said that, because it is a terrible thing to say, that it's worse now than ever before, but it's the truth.
No doubt. No doubt. I ain't dispute you.
I ain't never stopped. I ain't never stopped talking to the youngsters. I go to places where they say, Chip, don't go down there. I go everywhere. I You go.
Listen, OG, you talk about you, and I get that. I understand it's not an I thing. I'm not speaking to you.
I ain't the only one doing that, so it ain't just an I thing.
Understood, but I'm telling you that.
And you make so much sense. I understand what you said.
Mm-hmm.
You make a lot of sense. You know what I mean? In fact, that's gonna be part of my next delivery, what you just said. You know, I'm gonna add on to what I already got. You know what I mean? But hopefully, I don't give up on youngsters. Never gave up on them. And they irritate the hell out of me. I got a lot of them in my family.
Well, the question is, I'm gonna ask you, so what produces these kids like that?
Lack of knowledge, that's
What produces?
They don't
What
teach
we gonna do?
They don't teach in the school like we used to.
Of course.
Like we used to. They don't.
I understand what you're saying, Chip, when you say they're worse than them. That's true. And when you're talking about what produces, the lack of guidance and snatching guys like us off the street.
Reach one,
To-
teach one.
to-
How many people doing that?
No, but we don't.
Doing, how many people do that?
I don't, see, this is what I want us to focus on. I don't care about how many people not doing it.
That's right.
I'm focused on what we're doing. How many of us in our space are doing it. See, if we wanna be a place where people are drawn to, then never highlight the negative, right? So if they not there, they ain't supposed to be there.
Absolutely.
Cause God ain't nothing, no coincidence, strange happenings in this world. Probably in this whole city, ain't nobody doing what we doing right now. This is what I'm saying, and that might seem kinda like arrogant as
It's like
fuck,
we're
right?
attempting to do something, but.
I'm telling you, in this moment, right now, in the eyesight of God, ain't nobody doing what we doing right now. And what I mean is that our space in our circle is unique. All of us are unique. And even in this little space, even in this small space, you got how many years of prison?
1,000 years probably.
In this small space. And as we build out and we here because we introducing something. So these manhood circles, the sisters been calling for. They've been saying, hey man, when y'all gonna get y'all together, man? We need y'all. So all I'm saying, Chip, is they ain't gonna be doing it. We gonna be doing it, and we're gonna be giving them directions. You gonna be giving them directions
I gotta say this one
on what to do.
Yeah. Boy, y'all.
Do your thing.
You make my heart big, you know what I mean? Just hearing y'all, just listening to you, you know what I mean? Cause it ain't enough of them doing it. But the point I'm trying to make is, I haven't given up on these youngsters, don't get me wrong, you know, and I don't intend to. I'm gonna do it till I leave here. Because I know how beautiful and wonderful it gets, cause I'm looking at it. So I'm looking at the growth that y'all got right here. Just in a few days, these brothers been changed a little bit in the room. You know what I'm saying? So I'm optimistic. You know, I haven't given up. But you got brothers that's making babies, you know what I mean? And killing babies. You know? I want y'all to see how tragic it is out here, so you'll know how much work you really got to do. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not coming up with anything new, but y'all was there when them brothers snatched that dope. We didn't touch that stuff at first. You understand what I'm saying? Some kind of way we knew it wasn't the thing to do, how dangerous that was. You understand? But when they took all of us and locked us up, who gonna tell them to stop the dope now?
Exactly. That's what he's saying.
The Fluties, the Don Juans, you understand what I'm saying? They were able to do it because we gave them support to do it. They know they couldn't do it themselves.
No.
Because most of them is hoes. You know, most of them was Shirley Temple. You dig? If they seen an opportunity, these youngsters wanna be sharp, see how they try to dress like that, and do this here. All we gotta do is put this in their hand and tell them you can get that stuff tomorrow. You know? I'm saying they got tricked and duped. You know what I mean? They locked us up. It was a time they locked up. Cause everywhere Chip going, I was gathering. You know what I mean? I was stimulating and educating. Plus, I had educators. I had Martin and Malcolm and all of them. Personally, they talked to us. You know what I mean? So we had somebody teaching us. Teach one, reach one. You know? It ain't enough of us. But we can't worry about that, because you got this right here.
Right.
This is the best start you could ever have, what you gave us right here. You know what I'm saying? What y'all doing for us right now is a wonderful thing. You know what I mean? And we can teach one, reach one.
Each one, teach one, teach one, reach one. So before we go on, I want to spend it aside, because at the end of the day, more than anything in the world, these two young brothers, I always want to hear their opinion, their thoughts, and their questions. But all I'm saying is, to your point, and we're gonna spin it around. Let's go. Let's go back that way. Start with Zoe, and then we go around in a circle of question, comment, or whatever. Cause we want to do this like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and we're done. And we go back to work. But we just want to have something for our heads and to deal with. And as far as the crime, real quick, Chip, there hasn't been shootings and violence where the murder rate reached over 800 in a year. Recently. In the 90s, when we was coming up, they had murder rates of over 1,000. So it's not worse in terms of violence. We had 80s, we had the 90s, we had 1,000 murders in a year. It hasn't reached that yet in this generation. Even with all of them, the shootings that's going on, it hasn't reached that. But the problem is, no, what I'm talking about over the last course of, and I don't think even then, it would never reached over 1,000.
Never.
But I'm saying in the 80s and the 90s, it was over 1,000. I'm saying, all I'm saying to y'all is that it's not that violence has stopped or elevated or altered by 100 murders or 100 shootings. It's the integrity, the character, the respect, the type of crimes and the violations of the community that has taken place because there's no real manhood in the community that said, hey, we're gonna check this. And that's why we as ECCSC is gonna take us to save us. That's the motto. We have to be the message we wanna see. I mean, we have to be the change we wanna see. So with that being said, man, I want to pass over. If you got anything to say, we'll go in the circle and everybody can, comment or question. And thank you y'all for being here, man. Appreciate each and every one of you.
We need it. Personally, I love to hear like the experiences, get the wisdom on different stuff I can look out for, move around and different stuff and hear, so I can pass it on to, all my guys and all the people I move around, because the people out there, they really just don't, a lot of, especially like the younger ones, like they really don't even, they don't know.
And you a young one saying that.
They don't know, I'm talking about
Why you
14,
think that is?
13.
What's wrong?
Man.
From your perspective.
It's really like the household, like the daddies in,
Mhm.
the mama, the sisters, all into it, and so the dad is going to do everything for them, they have a problem, the sisters have a problem, they go into no matter what they did, or anything, they out here wrong, and people just out, just doing like whatever.
So with that being said, pass it on, we understand that ain't no, fixing this problem in no circle. We having discussions as we build on, ideas and concepts, so as we build out and we grow, that we're not just out there getting at the violence, we're not out there creating employment opportunity. We dealing with mentoring, we doing all these things, so that hopefully all of those things will help us get that change.
It's a lot of, first of all, there ain't no scripts and shit, it ain't no, maybe like when y'all was out here, you gonna do this, it ain't nobody telling, ain't nobody out there shit, if I'm making more money than the motherfucker for 30 or 40, what am I listening to you for?
That's right.
What did you do that I need to follow? You fucked up, you asked me for 10.
Exactly.
Real talk.
That's one thing, like,
That's exactly right.
they ain't trying to work, and then half of the older motherfuckers, honestly, they scared of the shorties, like, cause ain't no shorty finna come fight you, I'm just let you know.
No fight.
15, 16, they coming, like, they ain't coming, but they coming, like, how they coming, like. If I say something to a shorty, y'all gotta be on my head on the swivel, like, man, I just said that shit to a little boy, like, they gon'. You know, they gotta be on point, so like, when it's 30 or 40-year-old motherfuckers, they see you wild, and they seeing the shit you doing, like, you come back to the block, you doing shit, the thing you doing, so it's like, I'm gonna say something to the little nigga, like, what if he ain't trying to hit that shit? You know what I'm saying, like, it's hard, like, there ain't nobody out there trying to do nothing, ain't nobody like, you out there, you fucked up, until you get your dollar, there ain't nobody out there like, yeah. It's like, here you go some bread, like, until you know what I'm saying, he gonna pack, he gonna get anything, he gonna job, anything, and shit, it's like, he out here with you, shit, y'all both make a certain bag, or whatever y'all doing, like, it ain't no structure, like, everybody for themselves, ain't nothing to follow, no rules, no shit, nobody, ain't no guide, nothing, like he said, right? You know what I'm saying, you gotta feel for yourself, you gotta kind of write this shit yourself, so you can survive.
They out here 14, 13 years old, they like, I gotta fend for my, like, there's nothing else in life, what's
Shit, I ain't saying you will, but you gotta try shit, you gotta try to read, like you say, you ain't trying to read shit, you out here to read, you ain't trying to help me out, we a whole organization, bro.
No, never.
Give a person a couple of dollars, like, what that's on, you know.
No,
I mean, that's what keep you out, shit, you
Y'all
feel like you got a
understand.
motherfucker on your side.
That he giving it, listen, bro, when I go on the blocks, that's all I do, I sit there for an hour, I don't comment, I don't say that's right, no stuff, I listen. See, we too busy interrupted. I listen to these shorties, man. Because that's where your respect don't come from anyway, because when they reach out to you, they know, oh, big homie will listen to me. Hey man, I'm about to do some shit. That's how you get at de-escalation. Cause now they feel comfortable with telling you, they finna go slide on this mob.
On my soul.
Now I'm able to say, hey, don't slide, come here, let me come get you, where
You
you at?
put that shit in my head, like.
Yeah, most people just wanna be heard.
So man, believe me, as we put more young brothers like y'all in the circle, and we start getting at the issues, and you were just saying they need more centers, that's okay, we gonna make more centers, we're gonna build more centers, we're gonna build more spaces and places for our young people to come and feel comfortable coming, and somebody gonna listen and ain't trying to give them no damn advice. Little no dope. Listen first, and then they're gonna tell you what they need.
They won't believe it.
I'm just asking about the money part, you know, we can go out there, we can feel a home, it's gonna cost you dollars. But, you know, you just saying, like, give money, you got something else with that.
No, I ain't saying give money, I didn't say give money, I'm saying like anything, like shit, grab me up, let's go grab me up, get a job, let's go do some shit, let's go like, God.
I am throwing my car keys to little homie, like this, ride that
shit.
shit.
Years older than you, man, you can't show me shit.
Exactly.
I'm gonna just look up to you, like, listen to what you say, hell no, dude, I got more money, you like, what? You gotta show me, I gotta respect you off, like, action, I gotta see you doing, like, how y'all doing this shit, I can respect y'all for y'all doing this, you know what I'm saying? Y'all gave me opportunity, but if I'm out there with this nigga for every day, and he ain't doing nothing for me, what am I, how I respect him, like, what is I doing? Like, it's there, like, it's like, we in competition trying to get money, but you more as fucked up as me.
That's real talk, that's real talk, yes, sir.
This is a perfect platform to get all the de-escalation started. I always wanted to have a platform that we have, a section so people can voice their opinions, how to de-escalate and what makes these problems and how they can solve their own problems with our help. Have a forum, they stand up. We talk to them and ask them what you see and what can you do? I bet if we do that weekly, that can help them here, we can move forward. That's what I believe. Yeah.
I got one question, my
Go ahead. No, yeah.
Like, did the shooter get love back in y'all day?
You said who?
The shooter, did he
Oh,
get
yeah,
love?
there's a difference.
Like, you know what I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
you know how it is, like.
The shooters always got love, you can go
Most
fuck.
of them knew when to shoot, excuse me.
You never knew who the shooter was,
Yeah, I did.
That's the
There you
problem.
go.
cause the shooter's called
Well, see, that's
There you
supposed to be
go.
the last thing you think of.
There you go.
That's the first
Oh,
thing
that's
that.
why I asked, I'm like,
Well, shooters get a different type of love today.
Yeah,
Shooters broadcast their
Notoriety.
shooting.
yeah.
See,
Exactly.
when
I'm
you
a
say
shooter, they
shooter,
said, they said.
when you say shooters, I want y'all to understand the people listening out there. Most of these shorties ain't killers,
No.
they shooters. They, listen, anybody can have an extended clip,
30
a 30 popper, a Draco, and spray down a block, but you don't hit the person, you don't even hit the person you shooting at. You hit women, children, and this. So when I say shooter, I'm telling you, when you say different type of respect, where I come from, we gonna wait on your porch
Yes, sir.
3-4 days,
Yes, sir.
eating stick a bottle, pissing in a bottle, try to get you. Not your mama, not your sister, not your, if we gang banging, the beef is between me and you. And that's the life we live in and chose. These women and kids didn't choose to be victimized or terrorized by our bullshit.
I'm gonna give you the line out Biggie
How
song.
safe was they back then?
They were safe. The women were
You
safe.
didn't touch them,
But-
And if you touch women and children, you end up in Lake Michigan. Go ahead.
I'm gonna give you the line out Biggie song. He says niggas like you who do 10-year bids, miss the nigga they want and murder innocent kids. Not I. One nigga's in my eye. That's Jason. Ain't no slugs gonna be wasted. That's
These
what
guys
he
got
said.
30 popper wasted.
Now you wasting bullets, killing people. That's what the uproar about is in the community. Is in these kids getting killed in their windows, out here playing at the playground, out here playing on the basketball court, doing the homework on. That's what the uproar about. That's what the politicians ran their campaigns off of this
It's
here.
just that bad.
And
Huh?
yeah, it
Because
appears.
we've been had thousands
that's
of
what I
murders in
mean.
it.
That's why it's worse.
But because these children have been
Absolutely.
victims and
Absolutely.
innocent mothers and whatnot, and
Absolutely.
have polarized
Absolutely.
what was already here.
Absolutely.
As far as violence.
There it is.
My baby ain't never hurt nobody, but he still got smoked that baby's pot. See, when they broadcasting the type of landscape of what people hear the rapping, but they not listening to the message.
Absolutely.
They broadcasting what's about to happen under self-destruction, stop the violence, this stuff been going on. You broadcasting what's going on in the landscape and was setting it up for what's going on with our kids now, our children now. They been shooting innocent people. This dude ain't never hurt nobody. He a ball player, he a star. Why he get killed? Because he in the wrong place at the wrong time. No, ain't no such thing as being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Punk, you shooting at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yes, sir.
Also, one more
Go ahead.
point before we pass it on. Another thing is the reason why is because it's being sensationalized.
Yeah.
The media and people, this is what I just said, the politicians ran their campaigns off of violence.
Yes.
So it was glorified in a way, it was sensationalized by the media to say, they put a spotlight on us. And now that social media, we got different mediums of communication out there now, where now you got news that happen right here, it goes all around the world now. Back then, a newspaper was only filtered in that neighborhood, and it was done like that. So we didn't have nationwide stuff. So now
And you don't
it's
need
a
a
big
record
video.
label now to
Exactly.
broadcast. Now guys become hood stars. Gee, what his name, Duck? All of them talking about killing each other. And they become hood stars off of slide, off of drill music. So now the YouTube and the internet, the Facebook has given them power because they got some thumbs up, they got some followers, they got some likes, but that is phony. That is that's they,
Like I Duck, they call Duck.
That's the
He was
Duck.
on Facebook Live showing downtown shopping for
That's-
Jordan.
see what I'm saying?
So what do you think things gonna do?
ain't no
So
question.
where you at? You think
Ain't no
bring
question.
downtown everybody gonna?
Listen, we used to always say, and we say it still, man, you know how easy it would have been for me to get whoever I y'all wanted to, or put in the trunk, or kidnap, or rob with YouTube now.
Right, sir.
Listen, I'm gonna say this now, live, so these young brothers can understand. You are a blessed shorty to know that Tyrone Muhammad is trying to save your damn life. And ECCSC, these gentlemen are trying to save your life, because if I was still in the life with the YouTube and y'all stitching on y'all self, telling me where y'all at, I'll be filthy rich and you'll be dead. Because you broadcasting everything, stacks in your ear,
Oh, my God.
even if they phony. I'm gonna go find out. I'm gonna go check to find out. That's why they don't really understand what's going on and what's happening in the environment and society. They don't understand what's going on, and we have to coach them and train them to say, hey, silence is secrets. You have to learn how to be quiet, and you have to get them out of the environment and their life. That's what this is about, us getting them, everybody out of that life and showing the alternative. And I ain't gonna keep talking about the old head and get going.
Yeah, you know, from my perspective now, since I've been on what I see out there in society, ain't no love. You know what I'm saying? And it's even deeper than that. It's a spirit out there. You know what I'm saying? And from what I see since I've been home, there's no love out in the street. And we gotta get to a point where we gotta change a thinking pattern, how they think. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is, the root is they thinking pattern. You know what I'm saying? Is what you put in there, because you know what I'm saying, you are what you think. You know what I'm saying? And when they thinking about calicoes and all that stuff right there, that's negative. You know what I'm saying? But it's simple. All they have to do is change they thinking pattern from negative to positive. It's simple. You know what I'm saying? It's just that's the point that we gotta drill in.
But it's really not, Elder, it's really not that simple. Because we don't have spaces of expression. They don't have spaces to vent without being judged. They don't have, see, judgment is what people stay away from. Judgment is what prevents a person from getting mental health treatment. Judgment in our community is terrorized. They need mental health, everybody. And judgment is the things that stop our children from seeking out.
It creates shame.
Shame. It shouldn't be, it's not their fault that Smith & Wesson, extended clips, heroin, cocaine,
Crack.
all of that is in their neighborhoods. Pills. It's not that we don't produce none of these things in our communities, but yet we have our children caught up. Let me show you this real quick, how they made our children dope fiends. In my time, being out in 3 years, I watched these gas stations and corner stores put tobacco paper, blunt paper. It was Swisher up there, Swisher Sweet. Now they got 90 different types. Hey man, give me a Dutch under the blue. Give me a red under the green. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. No, listen, bro, this is serious. They created these apps, these forums, and with the help of our elected officials, pastors and politicians, allow outsiders to come in our neighborhoods, set up gas stations and corner stores, when they also distributing guns out of those stores.
Exactly.
And they put us in an adverse condition because there's no men running in them stores and saying, you taking all this off the front row, this paraphernalia, for my kids to come in here to buy potato chips, got to see a litany of flavors and colors and strawberries of blunt paper.
So inviting.
You're not buying the paper to smoke cigars. You're buying the blunt to smoke weed. Now guess what they then do to us? They make white men legal weed distributors.
Absolutely.
They're legal dope dealers. While we watched them and we went to prison for selling weed that we don't produce in our neighborhood once again. Now, this conspiracy and not being able to recognize what they done to us and what coming. See, that's why it's a different and unique circle. That's why I say everybody ain't doing this in the city, because everybody's insight and vision and gift ain't the same to get at our son. There's no young shorty that I'm not able to touch in the streets if I want to. But you know why I can't touch them and I ain't gonna touch them? Because if you don't have nothing to give them, leave them alone. So you can't ask us to help and do something, and we have no resources to get at the problem, but you can get a police a $2 billion budget to police us. You can get a prison, a $2-3 billion prison to lock us up, and you can give all these bogus organizations all these hundreds of millions to fight violence in a year, $800 million, and we haven't reduced violence by 1%. So all I'm just saying to you, Millie, is that we watch them bombard our community with this. Our children are walking around high all day. They ain't got no time to learn. Their brain cells being destroyed with this loud, that's so loud, there ain't no way in the world they can properly function and they gonna be any good when they become 30 and 40 years old. No. Ain't no way. So when you saying why they reacting this way, why they doing it, they respond because their brains has been destroyed. They haven't even been matured yet. They still maturing all the way to 25 to 30.
Plus they don't teach in school the same way.
The school ain't never taught. We just had teachers that was the law that said she could smack the crap out of us, and mama gonna accept it.
I had teachers that taught me. I'm talking about, I had a teacher that sit there and said that you know better than that. They don't do that no more.
You know the difference? When you was
I know the difference.
When you was coming up, no, when he was coming up, our culture coming out of sharecropping, coming out, it was value in the vote.
Yes.
It was value in learning how to read.
Yes.
It was value in stuff like that.
Yes.
They don't have the same value system because our elders, they integrated a lunch counter to be with white folks and left our businesses and left our communities to fend for themselves.
Let me tell you something. This happened to me. First, we had white teachers that really wanted to teach. That was their thing, so you benefited by it because that's what they want to do. Now, if they didn't want to do it, your ass would have been in trouble. But you had people that wanted to teach. That was their trademark. That's what they wanted to do. And then they get frustrated because they can't deal with these youngsters no more. So they don't care if they pass or not. They don't care if they get good grades or not. But they care. When that lady told my mama that I did this, and that, got the shit beat out of me when I got home.
Your teachers was teaching out of love and heart. These teachers are teaching to, they're teaching to a curriculum set standard by the state, the city, that's not necessarily lined up in teaching this man the knowledge of himself.
Right.
It's a destroy.
What you just say, knowledge of what?
Himself.
Yeah. They teach you progression. It's hard. I'm trying to get across.
My man, you know about that.
Oh, like the man on the corner.
Right.
I walked past that corner, and that man said, "Come on." I said, "Yes, sir." He just pulled them damn pants up, and I pulled them up. You didn't even try to brush your teeth this morning. You didn't even wash your face this morning. I didn't cuss him out. That was respect. I had respect for that man. Not that same man is scared to talk to any of them youngsters.
And he should be.
And he got the right to be.
And because if he's
Because
preserving his life.
that youngster is trying to get his power come from, I shoot anybody. called me crazy. The nickname we had wasn't like that. They didn't if you call somebody crazy, they was really crazy for real. You understand what I'm saying? The nickname we had was positive names. If you got a big head, your name was headquarters. You understand what I'm saying? You didn't pick your own name. Now they picking their own name. Call me Terrible Dan. And then Terrible Dan got that name.
Close, he said close enough. He close enough. There you go.
And then you got this. Oh, you listen to, I had to leave home to get away from because I'm gonna listen to my mom. I'm gonna listen to her. And not to listen to, I gotta leave. And when I leave, I'm still running into my mama out in the street. I'm running into my dad out in the street. The pimps and the gangsters told me, touch that dope and I'll kill your little motherfucking name. And it was dope things. But they said, touch that dope, you go 4 hours, you would be dead to anybody. You know what I mean? That's where I learned from. Don't do that. What you doing with that stuff? What you need that stuff from?
Everything you just saying is the reason we here, because they don't have that to
Good
learn
thing.
from. I'm saying.
That's what I meant when I said.
Definitely.
It's a lot different now than it was back then. That's
Yeah.
the only point. Cause we respected elders.
No
That's the only
question,
thing
but
I was
we,
talking
our
about.
goal is to get them back to
Where we at right
respect.
now?
Elders.
Right now.
Brother, let me hear him say, we come,
I didn't,
go ahead, you, go ahead. No, don't finish.
no, what, you know what I'm saying, like I was saying, you know what I'm saying, it's like you gotta get your root to it. And one thing I learned, and I'll keep stressing that part right there, if we learn to teach the young ones, you know what I'm saying, to control that body, that thought, that emotion, and that sensation, bro, and they come to the true knowledge of who they truly is. If you come to the true knowledge of who you truly are, bro, you know what I'm saying, you go to a whole nother level. But it's imperative, you know what I'm saying, to control your thoughts. You can control your thoughts, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, a lot of young, they caught up on that pride. Pride is real dangerous, you know what I'm saying? It's like me, I could care less what an individual think about me, because I know who I am, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, you can say something negative to me, right? And I don't give it no energy.
Why you think you don't though? You develop that.
Correct, that's why I say you must learn to discipline.
They only gonna see by example. That's why he said, that's why I listened to, he pretty much said what you just said.
So therefore, you know what I'm saying, if we stress that to them, right? And like you said, they say knowledge is power, right?
Let me know.
It's power if you apply. It's a knowledge is power. Leave that back there, say knowledge is power. Knowledge is only power if you apply.
That's called wisdom.
Correct.
Application of knowledge is wisdom.
Right, so if you never apply the knowledge, you
I'm
have.
gonna give you one more thing to this point.
Mhm.
I remember a bishop said this, I love Bishop T.D. Jakes.
Okay.
The man, these his word, the man said you gotta earn the right to be heard. So he said that you can say the same thing I can say, but you ain't gonna be heard. Like a lot of what he was saying, you ain't got no money, you ain't got no, he said that the guys that's speaking to him haven't earned the right to be heard. So you gotta do the work yourself. Like you gotta, he said you develop that
Control that discipline.
that control and that discipline, well, you got to work for that.
That's
Just like anything in your life, for muscles, you gotta put that iron up front of you to work for certain things, so you have to earn the right to be heard. So I gotta put in my work, put in who I am, understand who I am before I can teach someone else that. So what to his point, he's saying, nigga, you basically less than me, you the same as me. I'm not gonna hear your message because you haven't earned the right. That's what Bishop was talking about. Excuse my language for saying the N-word. But he said, you gotta earn that right. You can't just be heard out here. Sometimes you just talking and you saying something, but you're not gonna be heard because that right that you supposed to earn, you ain't got it there.
How am I gonna listen to you when we live in a capitalistic society that's pushed materialism from the night to day? And I roll up in the 300 or a Bentley, and you walking and riding a bus, no matter how much wisdom you got,
I ain't trying to.
your application of your wisdom hasn't given you even the material wealth that I have. So how are you gonna tell me something when I'm giving you $1? So that is real to these young men.
That's how.
And once you understand that, you can get at, that's why he said, I'm gonna go around, you get it, Jay. That's why he said what he said. I can come over here with y'all help me, y'all listen, we over here, so now I can see that y'all actually applying what y'all saying. So I can learn and watch by watching and then build whatever I need to build to do even for the shorty. And he can invite them to say, hey, these big homies over here doing it for real.
Right.
Now come on, follow me. See, he gonna get more, they will attract more little homies than we could ever attract. Because they can lead them. Because they follow each other for nothing. They just follow each other. They don't check the nothing, they just follow me, just to follow. But we gonna close and wrap it up. So I wanna go in the circle, DJ, if you got something to add, comment, suggest, and then Jay.
I'm gonna speak out from experience. I live 27 different people. 27 different couples, single mothers, single fathers. So, them mother and father homes I was in took way more work to put in, because they disciplined me more, they gave me more discipline. Like the single families, it was, stop, don't do that, okay?
Right.
I'm going back outside. That was a warning.
That's a good point.
That was a warning. But them 2-parent homes, the father got on my bumper.
Right.
The mama probably came in the room.
Cause you're not bringing that in my house.
As long as you're not like deal with that shit. I know you were bringing the grades up. The foster father come right and take the TV, the game out my room and everything. Like, they put their foot down, and I done been through so much, like, it's like, how can you not take heed to what both of them parents are trying to do for you? And it started with us, though, even with our women, denying our fathers and seeing them kids. And then that's gonna push them out. It's some out here that'll fight for their rights. And it's some out here that
I'm not going out with
you
it.
don't want me to see that baby. I don't care about that baby. So it is gonna start with us from jump, but it's gonna take
Us to stay.
It's gonna take us to save us. Everybody that just talked before me said exactly what I'm saying, and exactly what they saying in just different ways. It's gonna take us. From my experience, one more thing. I was on my way down C4 Walk, I stayed on 66 in Army. My mentor called me. Come on outside, man, we can go to the mall. We go to the mall, give me an outfit and everything. Stop me from going down the wall, but I was gonna hang out with the guys and do nothing. We walked through the mall for about 4 hours. 4 hours, walked through the mall. One of those Air Force Ones, he bought me with some type of Nikes I got, but I was cool with it. I was Gucci with it. It's just that one.
But that time,
And
even his money, no matter what it is, he invested in you.
that's
Yeah, he presented love, he showed love.
He invested in me. He took time talking to me. He had 745, thirsty to jump in that 745 and go down on 64 for Wall Cotton. Let the shade, the back shade. Me one of these, or me one of these experiences. I took heed to different stuff, but once I got older, to the age where I could fully understand and know that it's gonna take me to get myself together. And I gotta take heed in what these older, younger, positive, the positive, I've been around his age. I got into it with him from from somebody named Vic. They know him from a can of paint. I'm more in tune with him than Vic. It's just off the words, how he speaks to me, how he talks to me, what he introduced to me. And I'm done with him, down for the cause, for the change.
Amen.
No, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna wait till next time, but first of all, this is a perfect program for us to get at the youth, cause it ain't about you, man. You know that, right? No, it ain't about me. It's about them right here, you know what I mean?
That's our future.
So here's the thing, we definitely got to learn how to understand our target market. It's very, very important, because
When you get the youth, you got the work.
he gave you a blueprint on exactly
What's
what
going
you
on.
like, you know what I'm saying? Cause I know even for me, I got locked up when I was 16, I came home when I was 30. This was the first brother that taught me anything, this was my celly. You understand me? And, I didn't know nothing, I was, one of the youngest, I was a new breed black gangster, but I was official of it. Everything that I went to jail for was for nation cases, you know, and, so, I know that I wasn't trying to hit nothing that nobody was talking about, you know, if you wasn't able to, you know, show and prove it, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely understand, you know, and like I said, we got to know who our target market is. And since we know who our target market is, we have to start learning how to, approach it.
Yeah.
This period.
Yeah,
This is
multi-billion-dollar
our business.
corporations.
This is the business that we are in.
Exactly.
And not only that, first of all, I already know my brother think beyond the stars, so I know this gonna be something global. And the one thing that we all got in common is that we definitely know what it is to be behind the walls or in jail, you know, being incarcerated, regardless of the length of time, you know. And that is something very, very, very powerful to build upon. Because if we don't got nothing else, if we got all these different, you know, perception or ways of seeing things, but we all do have the same perception about that place. And that's what we have to deal with.
And even that changes from day to day.
Yeah.
You got a comment, suggestion before I close out?
Yeah, I wanna say that all we got to do is be perceptive, you know what I mean? And if we do that and care about each other, that's, he's making that happen. By we being here and spilling the beans like we're doing, we gonna understand each other. And that's where everything started at, with each other, you know, and this is the most wonderful thing that could happen to us right now. And that's how we gotta look at it. What we gonna do with this wonderful thing? We gonna spread it out. We gonna entice others to get this feeling like we get it. You understand what I'm saying? All I remember is that I listened to old people when I was coming out. These youngsters don't wanna listen to you because it makes them have to do stuff. They have to start acting accordingly. They have to be right. You understand? And they think we scared of them, cause we don't say that.
No, see, you keep on using yourself as an example. You're kind of more unique than, like my granddaddy was, you know what I'm saying? He's not the same. So you cannot continue to personalize yourself.
The point I'm trying to make is that these youngsters don't give a damn about how old we are, or how young we are. None of that, cause it gives them stuff they have to do. And they don't care nothing. That woman, we gotta have people reaching them too. That young girl, she's selling out for a pack of Newports. I'm just saying, it's real bad. He explained it better than I could have, because he made it perfectly clear that this is a different time and era.
That's all it's saying.
But I didn't stop working because it's a different time and era.
Right.
I mean, I'm talking about the work still gotta be done. If you love I love these stuff for real. And I don't give a damn what they call themselves.
Right.
My mom knew that. They knew I didn't pick and choose.
Well, this the thing, this generation don't like to be stood over.
No.
You don't see me standing on, you see me moving around. I do more, I'm gonna outwork anybody that work with me. I'm just telling you,
And I know that, I see that.
ain't just standing around. See, if I'm doing something even for the community, I'm gonna go in there and do it. I ain't gonna tell them to do it. I ain't gonna tell them, I mean, if they wanna go with me, they can go, but I'm gonna be found being an example of what you should supposed to
And that's
do
all we need.
when your community is violated, when your children are violated, when women are violated, we under disenfranchisement like no other nation or community or people. There's no equality, there's no equity of our kind and of our people. And all we need to find is what the brother said, is figure out how to increase our love
Yeah.
for our shorties. That's why I never speak of them as they don't listen. They don't listen. Because I'm gonna be the example to persuade them, even when I have to do this. I roll up on the block, shorty them, I see them, they got their things, they got their, man, that's a nice car, big home, that's a nice car. It is. Take it around the block. Huh? He shot now, I'm showing you, man, this material shit don't have more value than you.
Yes, sir.
Take it around the block. If you crash into a wall, it's insured. So what you think that do for him?
You showing them that
Trust.
Yeah, what you, yeah.
Respect. I'm showing him value that, man, I don't give a damn about that. I spent 21 years in a 9x12 box, bro. I don't have the same understanding about that crap as y'all do. And you only feel that way because media, your peers, your rap worship idols done told you that this is important. Now when I throw them keys, ain't no time I can count. Bring your little punk ass over here, we need to rock. All right, I'm coming. Because now I create a relationship. Sometimes you got to shine the dangly things in people's
Yes, sir.
face.
Yes, sir.
Then once they get there and put the dangly little chain on, now I can then release the locks off his head to say, man, we've been having chains around our necks.
Yeah.
We've been hung forever. Now you riding around with chains on your neck willingly. They are symbols of your oppression. A lot of time, chains on your neck. And I try to just enlighten people. Not everybody feel that same way about jewelry and chains. But that culture, when I do that to them, even with fashion, and I'm gonna close out so we go, and even with fashion, I try to kill the stigma that these young brothers do. They will sit here and call these people gays, sissies, say all of that stuff, but yet they got gay people, male, they wearing gay Gucci, men who create Gucci, Louis, Fendi, they gay over their crotch, on their butt. Y'all got these people that y'all disrespect saying they gay and this in your music, but yet you promote them on your body.
Exactly.
You walking around branded by the same people you called it. See, when you show them that correlation, you say, damn. But if you don't have insight or delivery to give it to them, then they'll never see it just by just talking, like Mike just said. You just was talking, but if it's not impregnating their minds to say, hey man, God, no, I never thought of it like that. I never looked at it like that, man. See, we all got keys, but everybody don't have a master key. A master key open every lock.
There you go.
If I can't open, so if for instance, if I'm GD, need breeze, I'm not gonna go to the breeze with my GD key to open the breeze lock. I'm gonna go to the breeze and say, man, help me open that lock from old boy, since he's running with what y'all running. I'm gonna go with old block thinking, I'm not from old block, I'm gonna grab somebody from old block, say, hey, bro, give me inroads into woo woo woo, so that I can deliver something that they can grab, man, and hold on to. And then try to, hopefully we grab one at a time, each one teach one, and maybe I can get in, but you the face of that. The problem is everybody wanna be the heart, everybody wanna be brain, everybody wanna be lung, everybody, and we're a whole body.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
And with that being said, bro, I mean, I figure we get these brothers coming in, and we have these peace circles and these, manhood training circles, and we also about to get at the mentoring with these young shorties from 8 to 12. They're the ones who want to get. Yes, sir, please.
To something that you were saying, sometimes you don't even have to say anything, or most older folks don't have to say anything, it's like a certain way that they move. And like, he was sitting back in the cut, I've been out front line doing a lot of things, police come, I'm standing off police front line, yeah, I don't talk about all this stuff because I do it because it's what I like doing, and doing stuff for my community, pass out food, everything. But I say him, just not doing something that I've been already doing, but then how the curtain just go up that buffalo or whatever the situation might be, I just say to him, like, man, I need to meet this person. And him and the wife walk right past me, little guy, they don't walk hard, talk to him, this real story. And I'm getting over him, out on front line, send him again, he showing his work, tell me, man, I got something, stick with me, call me, huh, this is my number, this is my personal number, talk to me. I call him, you know, I send him out in front line. He come right down, first one there, you see him coming up with all that, I'm like, wow, oh, what about me? You know, like, it's the stuff that you do, you know, that grabs attention. Like, that touched me and wanted me to be a part of what he thinks he's gonna do with the next person. If he can't touch him, but I probably can, because they see me out there on the front line, they see me doing stuff. If I can't do it, he can.
Yeah.
That's it. So I'm gonna just push him to whoever can get a hold of him.
That's right.
The long as it was.
Absolutely. Just see what the girl said, just so simple. Man, you know, how brothers, you really say, a lot of young brothers feel about it, how brothers do it, we have all, we go to church and get this knowledge and read and all that type of stuff, and then when brothers come home, cause I know when I came home from the joint, man, I could not believe how dumb people were, bro. It was nowhere.
That's the point
I was starving, you know what I'm saying? And not to go so deep as to say that I wanted to be back in jail or nothing like that, but it was like, damn, my brain slow. I cannot believe, and I'm talking about those who even think that they conscious.
Absolutely.
You understand me?
I know.
It was like dying of mental starvation from not being able to sit around and to demonstrate or conversate and build.
When we were
with
kicking
people
it,
who was
we were kicking it.
So I know what you looking for, you know what I'm saying? And the brother done put the demonstration together.
You know, one
Yeah.
part that I forgot before, not to cut you off, but one part that I forgot was like the main important ingredient that he also did was he told me, like, I love you. You know, you don't have no man that's out here that is man enough to go out and tell you, oh, I love you. You don't know me.
I do.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm not good. You know, it ain't just a finger thing. It's just, no regular person just there like me, you know what I'm saying? Like, my pops wasn't there for me, just for him to say, you know, just off me, you know, yeah, you know, I love you, all right, have a nice day, make sure you call me. But that's the most important thing that people seem to forget. You know, like every chance I got, you can tell the person I love them. Even a young boy, I sent him out in the cold on 35th, right in front of the headquarters. Nobody helped him. He's sitting out there freezing, half attention. I came up to him, talked to him. I gave him clothes off my back, gave him a hug and told him I love him. Out of everybody that came up to him, he came to me because off that, what he said. I love you. They tell me, oh, I love you, I love you, I love you. He might tell whoever. But it's in fact, that word is more powerful and it'll bring him whatever I need. Just because he's like, man, brother, you'll come to the hospital with me? Cause I don't know them. I'm out here by myself. No shoes, no socks, no nothing. I gave him everything. All for me.
So, go ahead.
I want to say this and I want to end, but you know, it's like how we talk about how we gotta reach, how we gotta reach. And I'm hard on that energy, right? But I learned just from experience, like, when you walk with integrity, and you walk in righteousness, brother, and you walk with love,
That's purpose.
when you walk in that right there, your aura, it's like, it's, you can feel it. You can feel it, that's why I keep stressing, but you caught on what I was saying.
I know exactly what
You
you're
know,
saying.
and that's deep, because I've applied that, and I'm walking in that, right? And you know that I'm able to reach a lot of brothers, a lot of young guys, because it's like, a lot of guys be like, man, I don't even talk to no individual, but bro, I feel at peace. You know what I'm saying? Talking, I said, bro, that's the energy, that's the love that you feel, that's within you. You know what I'm saying? You like, man, I can't understand it, but I just challenge everybody just to apply. Just apply and see what happens, because it actually a draw. When you walk in that energy, love, integrity, and right, that's God. That's God. When you walk in integrity, righteousness, and love, that's what gonna draw. You know what I'm saying? Because you can feel it. You can literally feel it. You know what I'm saying? And when you get to that level of consciousness, brother, when you control that body, that thought, that emotion, that sensation, brother, it's like your consciousness, you become, it's like your intuition, it's like I can see. I literally, it's like things be negative before me, right? It's like I could be walking and it's something negative is getting ready to come toward me. I feel it, I see it. I'm talking, I literally see it, but I won't wake the person up. I just, boom. So if God don't bless me with the gift of intuition, well, I can see, how can I get in trouble? Because I see it. I literally see it. I feel it.
All of us have that.
Correct. Exactly. Everybody has it. It's just you gotta become conscious. You gotta
I
become
met
conscious.
you this morning, and I felt that from you just speaking to
Right.
you. I know exactly what you was talking about.
Because you know, it's all about the energy. And it's like I've been applying. You know what I'm saying? And since I've been applying it, bro, it's like it's like amazing.
So, but that's the key, all of us been in prison, a lot of majority that's in this circle, it's full, it's a fullness. And that's the purpose of ECCSC. To be the change we want to see. Our ability to, not only we've experienced it, now we into preventing it. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, it means nothing to have energy, it means nothing to have a spirit if they don't come to apply that energy and spirit in a space that's healthy, that then translate into changing and saving the lives of our families and our communities. So that's what it's about. So Mike,
I'm gonna close out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell y'all told y'all a story, let me tell mine how I met Ty. I met him when I was 22 years old. And if in the beginning, if you heard me, I said I'm 38. I met him when I was a kid, basically. He grabbed me and pulled me along and changed my whole thought process. I'll tell everybody that. He the reason for me being the way that I am today. I met this man 16 years ago in prison. He caught me when I was a short. Changed my entire thought process. Taught me how to be a thinker, taught me how to be a man, taught me how to think about things outside the box. Taught me how to read, taught me how to educate myself. Not read in particular, but just read for knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Just for knowledge, for information. Taught me that I was a king. He started calling me king. We started saying to each other that we love each other and that we brothers. And that's how he carried me. When I came home, he gave me $1,000. Bought me 10 pair of Levi's. Gave me everything I needed when I got home. I work for this man right now. Couldn't get a job when I came home. Got a job through him. I work in his organization because of him. He been wanting me to come back and do more, but I was 17 years old when I left the street, so I had to learn how to become a man and understand life out here too. So when you talk about how you can grab everything y'all just said, I resonated with. You know what I'm saying? Because I know from experience he did it to me. It just been so long ago that it didn't slip my mind because I see him every day, but just the reality of how, the power that in which he spoke, you spoke, and a few guys spoke about him speaking about him being a cellmate. It was just the power of what y'all was saying that made me realize, like, damn, the reason that we are here is because of him. It ain't nothing about holding nobody. I ain't into that. You know what I'm saying? But just being real, this man kind of saved my life. You know what I'm saying? Just being honest with y'all, just being 100. That's the power of the energy that you was talking about. He walks with that aura. I just told somebody that yesterday. The man is a genius.
And the man,
you know what I'm
changed
saying?
a bit.
Oh, yeah.
No, I ain't changed at all. You know what I'm saying? He told me when I was a kid, I was 22 years old, a little crazy, a little slow, but and I was speaking. Matter of fact, I met him and said, we've been in 3 joints together. I met him in solitary confinement. I was hollering out the window and so he said, hey, young brother, he knew me from basketball, but he didn't know me. You know what I mean? You kind of sharp a little bit, but I was saying something crazy out the window though. Right? You might be hollering out the window like the head said, but he changed my entire life. Everything that I am today, I can say this man is responsible for that. And that ain't to say that a man can make you who you are. It's already inside you, but for someone to have the ability to pull it out of you and for him to transfer this organization, ECCSC, he started that in prison. It was intellectual property that I was the first person he told this to. Like, man, but when I go home, I'm gonna do X, Y, Z. And I believed him. I believed in him. When nobody did, when nobody knew what he wanted to do, the man, this ain't no game. He ain't capping, he ain't flogging like the kids say out here. He ain't playing. He was serious about this before this even became anything. Before we all came in this circle, before he been out here fighting, trying to get all of this stuff done. This was birthed years ago, decades ago.
That's his vision.
That was his vision. And to see him come out here and manifest it is very, very powerful. But it makes me even believe in him even more, to where it's like, he's really about this. This is his life. He adapted this right now. And I know he will.
I believe that. And what you said, it's like, not to cut you off, and it's deep, you know what I'm saying? They don't say this. Everything starts with your vision.
Absolutely.
It's your vision. It's like, man, boy, we so powerful. We kings that we don't realize. Everybody don't know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like his vision, right? He put all his energy into his vision, and he brought it to life.
Oh, yeah.
He brought that vision.
I had a front row seat.
And I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna close, bro. When I got out of prison in Florida, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna start this corporation called Unique, right? It's a corporation called Unique. And I'm gonna spell it as YU-AK. It's UNIQ Unique, but I'm not gonna present it to the world, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
But you did.
But just to show you about the energy. Well, when I got out of prison in Florida, right? I was gonna start my life over there out here in Florida. But the epidemic hit, and they didn't know how to attack it in Florida. They didn't know how to handle it, right? So boom, and I'm telling my bro, I'm gonna start over in the shelter. I know nobody in Florida, but I'm gonna start over from a shelter. You know what I'm saying? Until to go to my dream, right? So brother, when the epidemic hit, and they said, man, y'all can't, they ain't gonna let you back in the shelter. So I'm like, what? So I'm like, all right. But that night, I was laying down, right? And the spirit, it spoke to me, right? And said, get up in the morning, go to Miami International Airport, right? So I got up that morning, I brushed my teeth. I'm driving on my card that they gave me the month. I got like maybe $23 left on that card. But I go to Miami International Airport, right? I get on the train. As I'm on my way to the train, right? And it's all going with that vision. You know what I'm saying? Your thought. All the way to the train to Miami International Airport, right? I'm focusing all my energy on this one thought. Somebody gonna help. Somebody gonna help. Somebody gonna help. Somebody gonna help. There ain't no other thought coming in my mind, but just that thought right there. Somebody gonna help. Somebody gonna help. Right? So as I got to Miami International Airport, right? Boom. I'm going up the escalator. Right? When I get up the escalator, there's a young dude He got wings on his shirt, so I know he got power, right? So I walk up, and my angel just drew me to him. I stepped to him, he on his iPhone. He said, hey, bro, how you doing? He said, I can't help you. I said, listen, bro, I said, I've been incarcerated for a long time, right? I said, I was gonna start my life over in Florida, but this epidemic don't hit. And I said, bro, I wanna go see my mom. Like that, right? So he said, well, what you need me to do? I said, bro, I wanna go see my mom. Like that, right? So I got kind of teared up. I got really emotional. He said, stop. He said, stop. Don't cry. He said, everything will be all right. He said, come on. He said, I gotta go fly a plane to the Bahamas. He said, well, come on. Like that, like we walking. We ain't even exchange names or nothing. But we going to the airline, we in the line. So when you in the airport, you know the line, you got the black little thing, so you gotta go through here, you gotta go through here. But as we was going there, bro, there's one attendant that be there, he like, hey, he popped the black thing and say, y'all step in there. We stepped in. Boom, now we gotta go to this section. So now we stand aside, the register is right over there where you purchase your ticket at. So boom. Now there's a lady walking past, but there's a counter open. The lady just walked straight up to her and she said, hey. I said, excuse me, ma'am. She said, oh, she just opened the thing. And we stepped through. We stepped up to the ticket. He said, where were you? I said, I want to go to Baltimore International Airport. But I said, it'd be more easy if I go to Washington, D.C. Got like get straight to my mother. He said, okay, well, let me get a one-way ticket to Washington, D.C. Put me on American Airlines, right? He purchased the ticket. And then he said, hey, what's your name? He told his name, I told him my name. He bought the ticket from me and gave me my ticket. Boom, go get on the plane. And I fly to Washington, D.C. You know what I'm saying? So I understand it's all about your thought. It's how you focus it. It's just like his vision. That vision that he had. Now, it don't materialize. Because we have that power that's within us. We just gotta go, we gotta pull it out. And you gotta become conscious of it. You know what I'm saying? And it's real, bro. It's literally real. Kind of like this dream, look at it. He sit there in a bunk. And he sit there, he thought. That's true. He thought because he's seen. Hey, listen,
In a bunk.
You know what I'm saying? He sit in his bunk and he literally, he's seen. You know what I'm saying? But we have that power. It's like, bro, it's deep. It's like, I look at life as beings. We all beings. You know what I'm saying? We gods, but we just don't understand. We not God, but we gods, bro.
Hey, you know what I used to call, not to cut you off, I used to call the cell that, I used to tell guys, they were like, I'm gonna go to the movie. They said, what you gonna watch, Mike? 4 Walls in the Bunk. That's why I used to call my cell that movie, because I seen it so much. I was like, tell guys, it's a horror flick.
No,
4
that's
Walls
real,
in the
and
Bunk.
I called it my subterranean chamber. See, you got to be in a subterranean chamber and I'm gonna close out, because we gotta get to work.
Yes, sir.
Our subterranean chambers is where the Egyptians sent their sons. That's why when you see them old pictures of them pharaohs, 13 years old, ruling the whole nation. 13, bro. We so far out of place now to think with who we really are and our ability, and they would take them, and the great sages and teachers understood that it took 3 ingredients to be a genius, to be great. To discipline.
Before y'all came, before any of y'all came, all the chiefs was 13 and 14.
Yes, sir.
Correct. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Larry and all was 13, 14 years old. Run the whole mile.
They were.
You know that 3
Let me finish this here.
Go ahead, because I'm finished.
Because it took discipline, and I'm gonna leave that one for last, but it takes isolation. So they will send these young men down to the 8th depth chambers and the subterranean chambers, levels below, that keeps them isolated. That's the second one. Isolated from society and all the BS that society put in our kids' head. Now, these young guys ain't getting none of that garbage.
Mm.
The Gucci, the Fendi, the wet, and all of this shit. They're isolated from your walk. They're isolated from all of that stuff that distracts them, right? No bills, no nothing, and prison the same way. No bills, no cares in the world, no nothing. You get 3 meals, you get in your bed, you get in your bath, your shower. So you isolated. That's why prisons are great if we ever use them in the right way. Some of us do. That's how you have this. So that's the isolated. They isolate you from society and the norms of society. Then they bring great teachers from around the world, sage and scholars, and they teach them shorties, bombard them with numbers. History, antiquities, knowledge of God, self, and others. And the main ingredients they teach them is discipline. Because you can have all the knowledge in the world. You can have all the money in the world. You can have all the personality and likeness in the world. But if you have no discipline, to not spend your money fearlessly, to have knowledge and use it like a tyrant, as a king, you should be benevolent, you should be honorable, you should be have equity. You teach that and discipline not to use your power to oppress the people. They taught them that. So once they came up out those subterranean chambers, once we come up out these prisons, if we not ready to take on the world based on the problems we've been through, the things we've overcome, then bro, we didn't get our lessons in school. Because I was in college for 21 years. I wasn't in prison.
I did too.
See, so with that being said, bro, I love all y'all. We close. We brothers, but we got business too. So may God continue to bless you.
Amen.
We turn this off.
Amen.
Hey, on feeling that, but you know, you talking on a level, you know what I'm saying? Well, a lot of people can't.
We ain't got nothing else to do around here. We got something else we doing around here.
We through with these chairs?
Yeah, we can put them back.
Y'all stay over here.
That's what I meant.